washing dishes at first.
It's
he was
always
wearing something on his neck, you know, with his name.
Yes,
Had a
yes.
man
Well, I
hang
think
his neck to get him.
that's so interesting to know why they would come to a place like Hot Springs.
Well, there were quite a few Greeks wound up in Hot Springs.
Isn't that
In
interesting?
fact, here's about 5 or 6 restaurants, Greek restaurants at one time. Now there's none.
I had a restaurant, and the guy that kind of ran my restaurant for me was Greek. He had a Greek restaurant, and this was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
And fantastic cook. Of course, Greek restaurants are good restaurants.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Southern Club.
Well, of course, it was. I forget just what years it was. It was around the first. It was. I know it. About my age, my dad went in business in the gambling house. And what happened? He was a restaurant owner, and they were back during the Depression, back in Hot Springs. It went bad, real bad, and the restaurants went bad. So he got on he knew everybody. You know, those people just knew every people. You know, when he in there, and he had to go on the WPA.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got on WPA, he was pretty smart, you know, and they made him somebody to cover, and in fact, he took care of all the people that were working. He was the entertainer, what do you call it?
Supervisor?
Supervisor, yeah. And when it finally came election up, and my dad ran for city clerk, and we had a mayor called McLaughlin. I don't know if you heard
Well,
of that.
in the video, he's very prominent. In fact, I showed her coming down. The J.M. McLaughlin building is the old Maxine's.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that building downtown now?
And well, that big white building, my dad owned it at one time.
Okay.
But he got in he was trying to get, well, he ran for city clerk, and they robbed him. They took it away from him. The mayor did. And in fact, he called over and told him. He said, "We beat you. Says you win it, but you're not going to get it." But he said, "Now we're going to give you an opportunity." In Hot Springs, they had a lot of gambling, you know, clubs. And he said, "If you want to go in business, we'll let you go in business."
Well, now, was this when Judge Ledgerwood was here too?
Ledgerwood was here, yeah.
Okay.
Ledgerwood was a real close friend of mine. He and I went on trips to Mexico and South America, and everywhere with him. And
in the video, they talked about, I don't know whether you remember this or not, but the people would come in before his court and they'd all sign in different names. Never used their real name. They would sign in.
Politics was dirty.
Said what?
It's always dirty.
Said what? Said 1 week. Said 1 month it'd be.
well, they
a car
robbed my
name.
dad. My dad win. Actually, he won the election, but they cheated him out of it. But then they gave him a chance to open a gambling house because he was that. People liked him that much, and he was that important to them.
Okay.
So then they had a little German bootlegger, and Dad didn't have any money. He was broke, you know. But then this little bootlegger and another friend of his, they loaned Dad and this other man the money, and they opened a horse book, his book of horses. And then eventually it came in. I used to work up there myself when I was young, 15, 16 years old, you know. And then I finally, he wanted me to go to be a doctor. That's the only thing he could think about. Well, I went to school for 2 years and I couldn't make it. I just couldn't get to it. So I told him I'd like to just go to the Army. It was back in that time, it was October the 1st, 1940. 1940, yes, I joined the Army. But at that time, you could go in for a year and get out, and you'd get it over with. But hell, I went in there for 2 weeks, and they'd knocked that out. So hell, I got stuck in the Army for 5.5 years. So we're over 5 years. That's when I met my wife in New York.
And did you go overseas?
Never did go overseas, but what happened, I'd had 2 years of National Guard training, and when I got in the service, they sent me to Spokane, Washington. And I'd had so much experience that I knew how to train people, and they sent me down to Camp Lever, Fort Warren, Wyoming, to train troops. And hell, they had me training troops there for 3 years. And finally, I just got fed up with it, and finally I got a chance. I wasn't but 21 years old, 22 years old, when I first got to be a first sergeant. And as the colonel that was our head of our, I forget what you call it is. I forget. My memory's getting bad on me. But he had me there as first sergeant of a company for 2 years, and finally he knew I was getting tired of it, and so from South Dakota, they had a dog training camp there, and he let me get away from there and go up to that dog training camp. I went up there and spent all year, and then I didn't have my commission yet. I was first sergeant of the company. Well, they got me up there. I wasn't but 20, well, I guess I was 22 years old when I went up there, and I hadn't been in the service but 2 years, and I'd been training troops there in Cheyenne, and he sent me up to that war dog school up there. And I had 800 people in the I had 400 soldiers and 400 sailors. And we kept them there, and I finally made up my mind I had enough of them. So I was going to OCS and get a commission and come back and take a dog platoon overseas. I wanted to go overseas quite a bit because my dad was in the First World War. It's the Second World War.
The
First World War.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wanted to have some overseas something for him to be proud of, you know, because I was proud that he did it. So I got my commission. They made me stay there and train troops in Virginia for a year. So then I got out of that, and I went to the dogs thing first. Then I went to get my commission, and they kept me there. So the old colonel that was my commander, I kept trying to get out to get him to take me overseas, let me go overseas. And he ran into him in the country club in where I was in Virginia. And I ran into him there, and he was the head of the what is it that I can't think of all these names. He finally had to be a general, and I wanted to talk to him one time, and he wasn't there. And I tried 2 or 3 times to go up to Washington and talk to him. Mm-hmm. And I was stationed there in Camp Lever, Virginia. And then he didn't come to town there, and I ran into him on the stairway. And I said, "Man, what are you doing to me? I want to get overseas." He said, "Jack," he said, "I've known you for a long time and know what you can do." And he said, "When I go overseas, you're going with me." Well, that didn't work out. So finally, after quite a while, I finally got him to send me to New York, sent me up to New York, and I was going to take a black troop overseas. At that time, black state didn't have whites and mixed up, you know. And after I stayed there for a while, I had my own company. By that time, I was a first lieutenant, but I was kind of commander at the time. And then about that time the war got over, and about that time I met Neovy. And it went along real quick, you know. When did we meet?
October?
Did we meet in October?
Mm-hmm.
Was it October we met?
Yeah.
And then we got married in
Next April.
next April.
And you came back to Hot
I
Springs?
came back to, well, I'd come back for that time.
Oh, okay.
And went in business. My dad had some people that knew had a pawn shop. And he told me, you want to go into the pawn shop business? And I said, well, I don't have any money. I said, well, he said, I'll loan you whatever you need to go in business. And I went in business with him. He financed me for it. And I had a brother at that time, the one that took the top up there, my other brother, my youngest brother.
Uh-huh.
And he was going to school in Arkansas, University of Arkansas. And every summer, when he was out of school, he'd come to my pawn shop and work. He kidded me all the time. I only paid him 35 cents an hour at the time. He didn't think that was very fair, you know. So anyhow, he got a law degree later after that. And then finally he got fed up with the law business and quit it. And made up his mind to go into finance business, loan money. Well, that didn't work out too good. And finally he told his friend of his, we're going to do something else. We're going to open up a pawn shop. And he said, we're going to go in the pawn shop business. Now he's got over 60 pawn shops.
Really?
After leaving the law school, you know.
Now, where is he? Or where did he
He's
go?
in Waco, Texas.
In Waco, Texas. Okay.
So now he's got a son and two son-in-laws that are working. He got them put together. Each one of them have 3 stores. And then he, with his other partner that he had to begin with, they got over 60 stores now in the pawn shop business.
Now, what about when did you get involved with the Southern Club?
Southern Club. Well, after I started, when I got back from service, I had a pawn shop there too. But then I started working at the horse book.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I had a pretty good in with the politicians here then. And I started working in the nightclubs. And then in 1957, they had a mix-up in the politics, and the people that had control of the Southern Club, they told them it's going to have to stop, close it up, unless they'd let me buy it. So I bought it. I bought the Southern Club. And I had my wife's brother-in-law, and then my dad had part of it, because he wasn't active in it at all.
Now, Orville Faubus was governor at this time,
Yeah.
and he was pretty supportive of.
Hell, I had him down tonight at the club, at the Southern Club. Every time we had a big crowd in there, he'd come over and we'd fix him to have a dinner for him. I got real pretty close with him.
What happened when Rockefeller got elected?
Son of a bitch.
Oh, you better take that over there.
Pardon the French. He closed us up. And then that ended it. But we had it, I bought it in 57 and we lost it in 64.
But tell him what he said when we went up there. He invited us over to his place.
Yeah, we invited us up to his place one time there. A fellow was coming down here. And what did he say?
Smith, what he said that, well, if you look at the polls the way they were, and most of the people, they're real religious, Baptist, they're against gambling, so how is he going to go? He had to go against gambling.
Was he? Do you think he was? He personally was opposed to gambling, or you think that was
He
politically?
wasn't. I tell you what happened. He had a brother. Rockefeller had a brother in New York who was wanting to be president.
Nelson.
Nelson. And after they told us he had a group here in Hot Springs that wanted to keep the gambling going.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a group of 15 people that wanted to keep the gambling going. And I'm not, the name I'm not going to repeat to you on this machine because I don't have, the fellow that did it was a personal friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one person in there that was a judge. And this judge got to Rockefeller and told him absolutely not, no gambling in Hot Springs. And we had, out of those 15, 14 would want us to go ahead in business. In fact, I was up at the racetrack the day that this happened, and Rockefeller went from New York, flew back down before 5 o'clock, and vetoed it passed. And it vetoed it.
I remember in the video it said he vetoed it the very last day.
The very last few minutes.
Before it would have become law. And
that's right.
now, I think Hugh Byram Hurst was one who was supportive of this, was he?
Sure is supportive. Byram and I were like brothers at the time.
He was on the video and they interviewed him, and of course he said that his comment was that, you know, Hot Springs would have been Las Vegas had.
That's right.
It would have had everything that Las Vegas didn't have.
And out of those 14 or 15 people that were on Rockefeller's group, there's only one in there, and he was a judge that didn't want the gambling. And I think the big thing was because Rockefeller wanted to be president, and he come back and turned it down.
He felt like that would hurt him.
That's right.
And the funny thing is his family, the Rockefeller family, who went to Dorado Beach in Puerto Rico, who stayed over there and have gambling there.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Now,
I mean, they have gambling.
has Charles Sella owned Oaklawn all this time? Was he involved in Oaklawn back then?
Had it for years, and finally they got it started back. In fact, my dad was a horse, running a horse book then, and he put up the money, some money to put Sella back in business. And he's supposed to pay my dad back, and he never paid it. But he went into business, and at that time they only ran it for about it's about 4 weeks out of the year.
Right.
But they didn't bother the horse books even then because they'd all go to the racetrack. And after the racetrack was closed, everybody go back to the horse books and play, you know.
Give us some famous people that have come through the Southern Club, that came through them during that 7-year period of time.
Oh, man. People that come through it, and start naming them, you know. What were some of those actors that come through? And well, the one that you got the ring for over there was
Mickey Rooney?
Mickey Rooney was up there, and in fact, she got a ring of one of Mickey Rooney's wives.
Rowan Martin.
Huh?
Rowan Martin.
Rowan Martin.
Eddie Albert.
Yeah. Albert. Yeah.
Gloria to Heaven.
Yeah. All these people played at our club.
I mean, let's see.
Now, was it a what we call back then an old supper club? I mean, was it a supper club or dinner club or?
Supper club downstairs. They had.
Had a dining room downstairs, and what we did after we went in, we put a escalator up there, one of the walk-ups, you know, just going up. We had to walk back down.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a single thing we took upstairs for the gambling, and we had 4 or 6 crap tables, 6 21 tables, 2 wheels. Had one room at her brother-in-law controlled it. He had the room where they had
the shows.
The shows, and had
slot machines.
Slot machines, and what was the other? Bingo.
Okay.
Oh yeah, bingo.
And then my brother-in-law, from my sister's husband, I gave him part of it whenever we all went in there, and my dad gave him part of his too, so he just wanted a little piece of it to see he had something going, you know. So I had the big control of it. In fact, I had the control of it.
Now, when you brought an act in, would it come in for 2, 3, 4 weeks, or?
No, most we ever had was maybe 2 weeks, but mostly it was 1 week. Like Rowan Martin, you know, you remember
Did
seeing
the old
him?
laugh in?
Yeah.
I had him picked one time, and I met him in California, in
Colorado.
Colorado. I met him, and I tied Rowan and Martin together, and they were going to come down. We had a club. I didn't have a club then. I didn't have the Southern.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to bring him to another club, and when it happened, they stopped it. And when I bought the Southern Club, then we got back in touch with him, and I had him come to the Southern Club.
Well, now the time you had the Southern Club, if my history is right, the time you had the Southern Club was about when Las Vegas was in its formative years or in its early years. Was there a rivalry between the two?
No, in fact, they loved us. They come down, they come down all the time, and
I forgot to tell you about
what was that?
about Barbara Streisand, you know.
Oh, she told me that story, the Barbara Streisand story.
Barbara Streisand.
I couldn't stand it.
He could get Barbara Streisand for almost nothing, you know, to come over.
Yeah, she called me at the house one night. She
I
said,
did.
"Come home."
Yeah.
You know, he made me come home one night to watch her on the television. And that's when she first started. I could buy her for $300 a week. And a year later, I couldn't buy her for $10,000. That's how quick she went.
Yeah.
But I should have got her, but I just turned her loose. I didn't like her.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand her. I figured nobody would come in there to see her, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the way it wound up with her.
It was like the Jack Pop show, you know. And I said, Jack, you have to come and listen to this girl. It's the most beautiful voice, which she has, you know. I said, she'll be wonderful. He came over and said, nobody will come and see her. Who wants to see that? Girl looks like that.
Oh, well, she wasn't the most
Brother Dave, what
Dave Gardner?
yeah.
You remember Dave Gardner?
Oh yeah, Brother Dave.
Brother Dave.
Oh, I remember. I have all his old albums.
I'm going to show you one of his checks.
Oh really?
He left me $1,000 check he owed me.
Brother Dave. Whatever happened,
He died.
yeah, I know he died. He was pretty. He smoked real heavily and.
His wife
Oh.
died first, and I think she had kind of control of their business, you know, the show business. And after she died, I think he just really went down. And
Here.
finally he died, and his son died the last few years.
Brother Dave.
Brother Dave.
He died owing me $1,000.
Oh brother. I remember his story about the
That's
about the
bizarre.
motorcycle wreck. And said she's doing fine with me, and we turned. What was it? I can't remember the story name. He talks about turning her head around. You've never heard Dave Gardner. You should listen to some old Dave Gardner. It's still funny. I mean,
No, it is.
Well, I got, after they closed the club up, I was doing some gambling at home. On our place over here, right now, the
Lowe's and all that.
well, I mean, that big, what's the way you name out?
Cornerstone.
Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Cornerstone, well, we owned all that property.
Mm-hmm.
And the government, the state come in and took it away from us. And now where am I going to go from there?
You're going to go by Gardner.
Huh?
He came over to.
Oh, so whenever before that they took the place away from me, doing some gambling here at the house. I had a little cottage in the back, and the FBI come in to get me, and they never did bother me. I finally got all the friends in the state that were close friends of mine, and they just gave me a.
They're gambling with you.
Yeah.
But all they did is when they found out, when they stopped it, they just gave me a, well, I can't, the expressions right now, I can't. I should have carried out, but they didn't put me in jail or anything.
Mhm.
Just gave me a year's
Probation.
probation, yeah. And with Brother Dave that day, that they over there raiding me,